How's it going, everyone? Unretired here, and today I'm just bringing you another update video on my Trickster build. I do apologize in advance as I haven't been pumping out those Grim Dawn videos as I used to. I've actually just been very busy outside of the games, so I haven't had that much time, but I'm still dedicated to it, so no worries. The next video that I'll be posting after this one will be the final build and my opinions, what works, what doesn't work, what kind of gear and whatnot. But I'll just show you how the build looks like and what kind of gear I have at the moment. So let's take a look at the skill points for the moment. So as you guys knew, I was totally going 50 points into Shaman so I can go max Stormcaller's pack, because the build will be a dual wield based lightning build, so although I'm doing that physical damage, I also want to do electrocute damage and lightning damage at the same time. Now I was maxing it. I did max out that savagery to 16 points. I maxed out Right to Storm touched 12 points for that, especially that attack speed and lightning damage and that 50% physical damage. That was very important for me, especially for dual wield, because the dual wielding, your one-handed weapons are not necessarily going to be as strong and or hit as hard as your two-handed weapons. However, by dual wielding and with the attack speed, you're dishing out a ton of damage. All right, dishing out a ton of damage. Perfect. This is another one that I've taken. It's 12 points into tenacity of the boar. I like the offensive ability and the defensive ability that it gives, and it does provide a 100% increase into health regeneration. The downside is that you're attacking so fast. The energy cost is every time you swing. So 2 energy costs that your swing is that I'm swinging at. So I'm gonna have to go over that once the build is actually finished, but I just want to tell you guys it is energy demanding, especially since you're using other skills for the build. Now for Nightblade, I went maximum right to Shadow Strike, so I went 10 points in at the moment because I really wanted a Shadow Strike. Now I know that I'm dual wielding, but for this build I wanted to try out without dual blades and without any kind of buff such as Veil of Shadow. Alright, because a Veil of Shadow, if I go max dual blades, you know, the pierce damage is great, but it's doing cold damage, but I'm doing lightning damage, so it doesn't really work out. I mean, it does work out for pierce damage, but for lightning damage, I don't have any cold damage whatsoever on my gear. So on that point, that's why I took Shaman, because of the lightning, not the cold. Otherwise I would have went Arcanist for sure. So what I did is to do at first when I was leveling, I did put 1 point in so I'd have enabled the dual wielding of melee weapons. So as I progress up until 10 points, I put up 1 point into Breath of Balgothian, which enables me to use two-handed melee weapons and refunded the dual blades. Okay. Now I am going to be putting more points into Pneumatic Burst, and I am also thinking of going max Shadow Strike. Now the build can change up until level 50, and there are different variations of the build that I've already thought of, such as a obviously I can make a dual wield without the lightning damage, and I'll be able to use the dual blades with my Veil of Shadow instead. Now this is all speculation and trial and error regarding the builds, so like it or not, if you like it or not, you can always give or take, so you can remove points, put back points. It's really up to you how you want your endgame character to look like, correct? So I do have 3 points available. It's just I'm not entirely sure if I want to go a bit more into Shaman, or I'll just finish my Nightblade for the moment. So I'll just show you the gear real quick. So as you guys know, I do have my Nightblade, which I've only put entitled the most powerful build. Obviously, every build is pretty powerful in this game anyways. Well, that's just the way I titled it, alright? So from my Nightblade, I did take Slaughter, so I can get +1 skills in Nightblade. you know, the granted +1 skills to Nightblade as of level 35 is really great. The only downside on the completion bonus is it's completely random and it's giving me Shadow Dance, which is something I'm really not going into. And Shadow Dance, if you don't know what it is this right here. Defensive ability, a very, very low % chance of avoiding projectiles and melee attacks. So I'm not going for a defensive based build, so I didn't see the point of going up to 15 points anyways. So yeah, that's my little opinion on that one. Gear wise, let's just say not a very lucky person, as I mentioned in every goddamn video. I'm very unlucky with gear drop. However, I would have to say I have been lucky to get Thirsting Maw twice. Alright, and these will stay my primary weapons as of level 45. I am able to put them. +2 to Wendigo Totem, so +4 to Wendigo Totem. So I am able to put 8 points into this, up to 12, and I get 12 up to 12 points, 4 points more with the +1 skills. Am I gonna go more into Wendigo Totem, or am I gonna go more into Blood Pact? That's to be seen, because if I'm gonna be more lightning based damage or vitality damage, it's really up to how the build is going to look like at 50. But like I said, there are different variations to the build, so I will look into it as well. So for gear, yeah, I did get 2 Thirsting Maws. If you get those for dual wielding, absolutely quit them. The damage output is amazing. Bleed damage over 3 seconds, 5% chance of 351 Life's Leech over 3 seconds, which is great, which makes it 10% if it both procs at the same time, which would be super lucky. 9% of attack damage converted to health, plus 32 offensive ability, increased health regeneration, attack speed, yada yada. Rings, pretty sucky. It's more about stats on the rings that I have at the moment. I did get a Death Ward. So Defy Death means that if I'm about to die, I won't die. This is really good for a hardcore character. If you have a hardcore character, definitely put it on. If you're about to die, you'll be like, oh my god, and then, oh, I'm not dead yet because I actually was saved by Death Ward. Great. Defy Death, sorry. This seems more for an occult. It is more for an occultist. However, I did like the stats on this. The 30 physique, 31 cunning. You know, just leveling to 50, I love the stats. Obviously, once 50, stats don't really matter as much for me, except for certain pieces of gear. So yeah, I got Fanatic Overcoat, which is alright. I got some other crappy pants, crappy boots. I did get Devil's Spalders from the Reputation vendor in whatchamacallit, oh my god, I keep forgetting these words, from Devil's Crossing, sorry. So I got the shoulders from there, mostly because I get +1 to Shadow Strike, and I am maining towards that maximum Shadow Strike damage. It is a very low cooldown and hard attack once it hits. I love it. I do have Brawler's Gloves. The attack speed on it is amazing. Internal trauma damage. The 18% physical damage is great as well, and it does give me a knockout as a granted item, and does require melee weapons, and that's what I have. What will I go towards once I am 50? I'm not entirely sure yet what kind of items. I'm pretty stocked up on a lot of stuff, but what I will be changing once I am 50 is my 2 rings. And I believe it's my amulet as well. So if I have it here, so these are amulets that I already have the gear, so it's pretty good. So a pendant of the Royal Crown, so +28. Well, it depends on which ring I'm gonna be using. So +28 total damage, 2% cunning, 2% spirit, and offensive ability. And as you can see, it has the 2 set bonus and 3 set bonus. So if I have the 2 rings, one of the rings or whatever, +5 physique, +5 cunning, 5% cunning, +5% spirit. So all 3 of those stats go up as soon as you have 2. And by obviously by chance I do have all 3 of them, and multiple sets as well on multiple characters, so I can always use them. Now what I love is the 3 set bonus is the +1 skills. Now if we go to the rings that you need, it will be Seal of the Royal Crown, the elemental damage and whatnot. You know, it's good for your lightning damage as it is elemental damage. The energy is very good as well because you're expending energy just from your Tenacity of the Boar skill. So that's a pretty good one. And afterwards I'll be using Jewel of the Royal Crown, physical damage, plus 33% physical damage, health, pierce resistance, bleeding resistance. So as soon as I have all 3, it not only gives me statistical percentage of my stats, it also gives me +1 to all skills, which I love. So I'll have +1 skills into Nightblade, and I have +1 skills which will actually be going into my Nightblade and Shaman. Love it, I love it, I love it. That's how I'm gonna roll for level 50 for those pieces of gear. I am also, it's just a thought, I might try as a build dual wield pistol just by changing the belt into the ammunition belt, which actually grants you the dual wielding pistol ability. So yeah, that's about it, guys. So next video for the Trickster build will be level 50. We'll tell you how to level, what skills to take and not take, what kind of pieces of gear I suggest that you take once you're leveling, and my point distribution. And there will be also some fighting gameplay for all of you Grim Dawn fanatics out there. So, you know, I love this build. I mean, it takes a bit of time, like, to gather up the 8 stacks, but it doesn't really matter. As you can see, like, damage per second, over 8,000, and that doesn't depend if, and it really depends if you're proccing other skills from your items at the same time. So anyways, I'll show you all of that once I'm 50. It hopefully should be this week. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.